What if I told you the rich are not just better at making money? They are playing an entirely different game. Think about it for a second. Two people can earn the same amount of money, same salary, same opportunities, same starting point. Yet one of them struggles their whole life, living paycheck to paycheck, while the other quietly builds massive wealth over time. So what's the difference? It's not luck, it's not intelligence, and it's definitely not just hard work. The real difference is the financial playbook they follow. Here's something most people never question. From a young age, you are taught a very specific set of rules about money. Study hard, get a good job, save money, avoid debt, invest safely, retire slowly. It sounds logical, it sounds responsible, it even sounds safe. But what if those rules are only designed to keep you comfortable, not rich? Because while most people are busy following this traditional path, the wealthy are doing something completely different behind the scenes. They are not just earning money, they are controlling assets, they are using leverage, they are minimizing taxes, and most importantly, they are making money work for them instead of working for money. Now here's where it gets interesting. Have you ever wondered how someone can be worth billions of dollars, yet not have a massive salary? Or how they can spend millions without earning that money in the traditional sense? Or how their wealth keeps growing, even when they are not actively working? That's not an accident, that's strategy. And once you start to see it, you can't unsee it. Because the truth is, the financial system has layers. On the surface, it looks simple: earn, spend, save. But underneath, there is a completely different set of rules that only a small group of people truly understand and use to their advantage. The scary part? Most people spend their entire lives without ever realizing that the second game even exists. They think they are doing everything right. They follow all the advice. They work hard. They stay disciplined. And yet, they never break out of the cycle. Not because they failed, but because they were never taught how the real game works. So the question is not just how to make more money. The real question is, are you playing the wrong financial game without even knowing it? Because in this video, we're going to break down the financial playbook of the rich. Not the myths, not the motivational quotes, but the actual strategies that quietly build and protect wealth over time. And once you understand this playbook, you will start to see money very differently. Most people believe they already understand how money works. You earn it, you spend some, you save some, and if you are smart, you invest a little for the future. That's the formula we have been taught our entire lives, and on the surface, it makes perfect sense. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This formula rarely creates real wealth. It creates stability, it creates survival, it might even create a comfortable life, but it almost never creates financial freedom. And the reason is simple. The system most people follow is built around income, not wealth. Let's break that down. From the moment you start your career, the focus is always on increasing your income. Get a better job, ask for a raise, work more hours, learn more skills so you can earn more money. And yes, income matters. It is important, but income alone does not make you rich, because no matter how much you earn, if your entire financial life depends on that income, you are still stuck in the same cycle: earn, spend, save, repeat. No, here's where things start to fall apart. As income increases, lifestyle increases too. You move into a better house, you buy a nicer car, you upgrade your lifestyle, and suddenly, your expenses grow just as fast as your income. So even though you are earning more, you are not actually getting ahead. This is what keeps most people trapped. Another major misunderstanding is about debt. Most people are taught one simple rule: debt is bad. Avoid it at all costs. So they spend years trying to stay completely debt-free. But while they are doing that, the wealthy are using debt in a completely different way. They are not avoiding it, they are controlling it, and this creates a massive gap between how money works for the average person versus the rich. Then there is the issue of taxes. Most people never question how taxes affect their wealth. They earn money, taxes are deducted, and they live on what remains. It feels normal. But what they don't realize is that this structure automatically puts them at a disadvantage, because the more you rely on income, the more you are taxed. And finally, there's one belief that quietly limits almost everyone: the idea that the only way to get money from an investment is to sell it. Think about that. You invest in something, it grows, and when you need money, you sell it. That sounds logical, but it comes with a hidden cost. Every time you sell, you reduce your future wealth, and in many cases, You trigger taxes. So you are slowly shrinking the very thing that could have made you rich. All of these beliefs seem normal. They feel safe. They are widely accepted, but together, they form a system that keeps most people working hard, without ever truly getting ahead. And the worst part is, most people never realize that these rules are not universal. They are just one version of the game, and the wealthy, they are playing by a completely different set of rules. So if the traditional path does not create real wealth, what does? The answer lies in a completely different financial playbook, one that focuses less on working harder and more on structuring money intelligently. The rich do not just chase money, they build systems that control, multiply, and protect it. Let's break this playbook into simple ideas. 1. Focus on assets. Not just income. Most people spend their lives trying to increase their income. The rich focus on increasing their assets. An asset is anything that puts money into your pocket. It works for you even when you are not working. This includes stocks, real estate, businesses, royalties, intellectual property. Here is the key difference. Income requires your time. Assets generate income without your constant effort. This is why someone can earn a high salary and still struggle financially, while another person with strong assets can grow wealth quietly over time. The goal is not just to earn more. The goal is to own more. 2. Use leverage to grow faster. Leverage is one of the most misunderstood tools in finance. To most people, borrowing money feels risky. It feels like something to avoid. But the wealthy use leverage as a tool to accelerate growth. Here is how it works. Instead of waiting years to save enough money to buy an asset, they use borrowed money to acquire it sooner. If that asset produces income or increases in value faster than the cost of borrowing, they win. For example, buying a rental property with a loan, the tenant pays rent. That rent covers the loan, and over time, the property increases in value. So they are building wealth using other people's money. This is not reckless borrowing. It is calculated leverage. 3. Structure money for tax efficiency. Taxes are one of the biggest wealth reducers. Yet most people never think about them strategically. The average person earns income first, pays taxes, and then spends what is left. The wealthy flip this structure. They invest first. They create businesses. They use legal strategies to reduce taxable income. Why does this matter? Because saving even a small percentage in taxes every year compounds into massive wealth over time. It is not just about how much you make. It is about how much you keep. To really understand how this financial playbook works in the real world, let's look at some of the most well-known examples of modern wealth building. We are not talking about theory here. We are talking about how the richest people actually structure their money. Take Elon Musk as an example. Most people assume someone like him must be rich because of salary. But that is not how his wealth works. A huge portion of his net worth is tied to assets like Tesla and other holdings. Now here is where the strategy becomes interesting. If someone like Elon Musk wanted to access billions in cash, he would not need to sell massive portions of his stock. Why? Because selling stock creates a major tax event and reduces ownership in long-term appreciating assets. Instead, wealthy individuals often use a strategy called borrowing against assets. They use their stock or holdings as collateral to secure loans. So what does that actually mean in practice? It means they can access huge amounts of money without selling their investments. Their assets stay invested. Their wealth continues to grow, and they still gain access to liquidity. This is the same core idea used by other billionaires as well. For example, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, has also used similar strategies throughout his financial journey. Instead of constantly cashing out his ownership, he allowed his assets to grow while using financial tools to access liquidity when needed. Now think about the difference this creates over time. The average person earns money, pays taxes, spends, and saves what is left. But in this system, wealthy individuals are holding appreciating assets, accessing cash without selling, reducing unnecessary tax impact, and continuously compounding their wealth. This creates a snowball effect. The longer the assets are held, the more powerful the compounding becomes. And here is the key insight. It is not that these individuals are spending more money. It is that they are structuring money differently. They are not relying on one stream of income or one job. They are building a financial system where their assets do most of the heavy lifting. This is why their wealth does not behave like normal income. It grows independently, and even when they are not actively working for it, their financial system continues to expand in the background. So when people look at billionaires and wonder how they can afford their lifestyle without taking money out, this is the answer. They are not just earning, They are engineering liquidity from assets while keeping those assets alive and growing. And that is the real-world application of the financial playbook we are discussing. So after seeing how the system works, the real question is not how do the rich do it. The real question is what should you actually learn from this? Because this is not just about billionaires or massive companies. It is about understanding a different way of thinking about money, and that shift starts with one simple truth. Most people are focused on earning money. The rich are focused on building systems that create and protect money. That difference changes everything. Let's break it down into clear lessons. 1. Stop thinking only in income. Income is important, but it is not enough on its own. If your entire financial plan depends on your job, then your financial life is always limited by time. There are only so many hours you can work in a day. There is only so much you can earn in a month. Wealth starts when you move beyond income and start building assets that generate income for you. Even small steps matter. A side investment, a small business, a digital asset, anything that grows outside your active time. 2. Think in terms of ownership. The rich focus on ownership, not just earnings, because ownership gives you control. If you own something that grows in value or produces cash flow, you are no longer fully dependent on working hours. This is why two people earning the same salary can end up in completely different financial positions over time. One spends and consumes, the other builds and owns. 3. Understand leverage instead of fearing it blindly. Most people are taught to avoid debt completely. But not all debt is the same. Bad debt consumes your income. Good debt helps you acquire assets that generate more value than the cost of borrowing. The lesson is not take more debt. The lesson is understand how money can be used as a tool, not just something to fear. Now you have seen the financial playbook of the rich, and the real question is not whether this system exists. It clearly does. The real question is what you are going to do with this information, because understanding money is not the same as using it differently. Most people will watch something like this, feel motivated for a moment, and then go back to the same financial habits tomorrow. Earn, spend, save, repeat. But a small group of people will take this differently. They will start asking better questions. How can I build my first real asset? How can I reduce unnecessary financial losses? How can I make my money start working instead of just disappearing every month? How do I move from income thinking to ownership thinking? And that is where everything changes. Not overnight, not instantly, but gradually, through better decisions made over time. Because wealth is not built in a single moment. It is built in patterns. And the earlier you change your pattern, the bigger the difference becomes later. So if this video made you see money in a different way, do not stop here. Keep learning, keep questioning, keep building. And if you want to understand how money actually works, not the surface level version most people are taught, but the real systems behind wealth, subscribe to The Geeky Investor, because once you understand the rules of the game, you stop guessing and start playing to win.